Fayette County school leaders are warning about a possible online predator they say has been talking to children through a social media app.
One Lexington business is giving back in a big way to help an injured baby.
And quite a thrill for a Central Kentucky boy tonight, how he got to meet a legendary astronaut.
This is WKYT News at 11.
Good evening. Okay, it's not going to feel like spring the next few days. Some much colder air has moved into the bluegrass.
And we could drop below freezing over the next several mornings. We begin tonight with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey and your no-wait weather forecast. Chris?
Hi, guys. We've been below freezing on a couple of mornings already this week, so why not throw a few more into the mix? The flow right now is coming out of the northwest, and that's a very cold flow, not only for the bluegrass state, surrounding states, most of the eastern part of the country as well. Cloud cover that is out there now, beginning at least in the short term to break up, and that's going to allow temperatures to begin to drop as well. Defender Radar Network late this evening has been picking up on a little bit of light rain and, dare I say, light snow shower action along the Ohio River counties where we've been stuck into the upper 30s. Most areas right now 40 to 42, 43 degrees, but with the clouds beginning to thin, you're going to notice that quick drop in temperatures over the next several hours, and by tomorrow morning we could be talking about temperatures into the upper 20s in a few spots. Speaking of upper 20s, that's the wind chill in Covington, 29 degrees. Yes, we're talking about a wind chill right now. Feels like 37 here in Lexington. When I come back at 11:12, we've got an hour-by-hour freeze forecast, guys. Green thumbs. You're going to have to take precautions again over the next several days. I'll see you at 11:12.
All right, Chris, thank you. Tonight, Lexington police and Fayette County school leaders have a warning about a social media app. They say someone has been using it to make inappropriate comments to Lansdowne Elementary School students.
And they say the same person even asked the children for pictures and videos through the app Uvu. Investigators fear the person could be an online predator. Garrett Weimer has our top story at 11.
Off camera and on, reaction to the news was the same.
The world is not safe anymore. You know, it's really scary now.
Investigators say someone using the Uvu messaging and video chat app made inappropriate comments to and asked for pictures or videos of several kids from Lansdowne Elementary School. Parents and grandparents of students there say it's sickening to them.
I'm kind of just like wigging out like, oh Lord, you know, you hear it all the time at other places, but you never expect it to be at your own back door, you know.
Police are investigating. They say they believe whoever sent those messages lives out of state, but it's a reminder about the importance of internet safety. Parents I talked to say that's always a concern. They say they talk to their kids about it and check their kids' phones to make sure nothing inappropriate is going on. Many said they're glad the school and police brought this to their attention so they can keep their eyes open even more.
You just never know who's who, you know. You know, people sit there and, you know, they lower little kids to, you know, to try to hurt them and stuff, and you just really have to talk to them, and you can't really sugarcoat nothing. You got to be straightforward with them, you know, to make sure they understand.
In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
In a letter to parents, the school's principal asked parents to check their children's phones for the Uvu app and to report it to police if they find anything suspicious on it.
New tonight, Lexington police have charged a teenager for a threat case involving students at Lexington Catholic High School. Police say the 17-year-old male has been charged with harassing communications and terroristic threatening. The case has also been referred to the county attorney's office. Denisha Vinegar says her son received race-related threatening messages from a teammate on Lexington Catholic's football team. She says he was threatened with lynching and told to pick cotton to raise money for a school fundraiser. Vinegar says her son has since transferred to another school. Another mother also told us her child received similar threatening messages from other students. She says she's talked to the school about taking steps to help all students.
Not just the children that's being impacted from the racial perspective and harassment, but the children who's doing this racial harassment, because they need to understand that's not the best practice, and it could very quickly end up in litigation in the real world.
In a statement, Lexington Catholic High School leaders say the threats do not reflect the culture or environment which the school promotes. They say they also met with all students today to discuss the dangers of offensive language and social media. In a statement through an attorney tonight, Vinegar claimed the school withheld a transcript and demanded more money in retaliation for reporting the incident. She says the family has retained a federal civil rights attorney based in Washington, D.C. You can read her full statement on WKYT.com.
Tonight, a 4-month-old Central Kentucky baby is recovering from serious injuries that police say were caused by her babysitter. Nicholasville police charged 34-year-old Erin Thompson with criminal abuse. They say she was also caring for some other children at the time. She pled not guilty today. The baby girl is being treated at Kentucky Children's Hospital, and now a Lexington business is planning a fundraiser to help her and her family. Sabira Rayford has the story new at 11.
Well, and we do.
Almost every day, David Ramiro's working at his restaurant, the SEC Sports Pub.
I'm a musician.
But today, right before work, he got some troubling news.
When my nanny came to work today, she brought to my attention that this infant baby was injured, and told me some of the circumstances surrounding it. And as a father, I have a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old, and it was just heartbreaking.
Ramiro says his nanny knows the family of the injured baby, and after she told him what happened, he knew he had to do something. So this weekend, he is raising money at his restaurant for the family.
If this just leads down a path of other people finding a way to contribute and help in any way, then that just makes it all the better for the child.
This weekend, 10% of what's sold off of this menu will go towards helping the injured baby. And Ramiro says he will also match whatever is raised.
It's probably relative, especially the expenses of health care, and I'm sure it may be negligible, but if there's just in a small way that we can help and use the tools that I've been fortunate enough to have to be able to help the child, I'd be excited to do it.
Ramiro is not alone in his willingness to help.
We'll be here. We'll definitely be here.
Some of his regular customers have already pledged to come back and help this weekend.
When you see somebody else doing something, it fires you to want to do something too.
And that is exactly Ramiro's goal. In Lexington, Sabir Rayford, WKYT.
The SEC Pub is off Harrodsburg Road near Military Pike. The fundraiser starts tomorrow and continues through Sunday.
New tonight, a woman is recovering after police say she was hit by a car in Franklin County. It happened around 7 tonight on Georgetown Road east of Frankfort. The Franklin County Sheriff's Office says the woman was airlifted to UK Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Tonight, they're still trying to figure out what led to her being hit by the car. That road was closed for a few hours but has since reopened. Traffic is back to normal tonight on a busy Jessamine County road after a crash involving 4 vehicles. It happened this afternoon on US 27 in front of the Dish Barn. Nicholasville police say 4 people had to be taken to the hospital, but all of them had non-life-threatening injuries. Police think 2 vehicles collided, causing one of the vehicles to spin and then hit 2 other cars. Next week marks the 46th anniversary of America's most daring mission in space that went from near tragedy to life-saving. The commander of Apollo 13 is in Lexington tonight.
Captain Jim Lovell spoke at UK Sanders Brown Center on Aging Foundation's annual dinner. And one of the guests tonight who had a personal meeting with the American hero is just 11. Tonight, how a young boy met the hero of millions of Americans. In the movie Apollo 13, Tom Hanks plays the role of Captain Jim Lovell, commander of a mission to the moon.
Our next broadcast will be from the surface of the moon.
But 2 days into the mission, catastrophe.
Houston, we have a problem.
200,000 miles from Earth, Captain Lovell and his crew lost almost all power. Onboard computers all but died. The temperatures inside freezing, and their air supply going quickly. The odds of them making it back to Earth alive, not good. 46 years later, Captain Lovell remembers.
I discovered the oxygen leaking out, which was where the low point was, because that meant that we'd lose all of our oxygen, and when that happened, we'd lose all of our electrical power, and when that happened, we wouldn't have a propulsion system.
He's still alive, that's good. He's a living legend.
11-year-old Michael Rushing lives on his family's Fayette County farm. He was born long after Apollo 13 grabbed the nation's heart. but he knows a hero when he sees one.
He's just awesome. He's just pretty cool.
Michael and his sister Annabelle run a business selling eggs and chicks.
Each year we make more money than the last with chickens. You'd be surprised.
He and his dad recently saw the movie Apollo 13, and when Michael heard the real Jim Lovell was coming to Lexington to speak, he wanted to meet him. But tickets to the dinner were $175.
I said, that's awfully expensive. So he came back and with the money from his little business said, you know, Daddy, I'll buy my own ticket.
We have a young man that's all dressed up here, huh? Big night.
Turns out a board member at Sanders Brown Center on Aging found out about Michael's wish of meeting Captain Lovell. They made Michael and his dad special guests for a meet and greet.
There you go.
Dressed in a new suit, Michael brings with him a book on Apollo 13 for Captain Lovell to sign.
There's not many kids out there that are ever gonna see an astronaut, much less talk.
And we're looking forward to your talk.
Now, quite a night there. Captain Lovell signed in Michael's book, Shoot for the Stars. I think Shoot for the Moon, rather. Apollo's 13, by the way, safely splashed down in the Pacific Ocean, and we'll have more from Captain Lovell tomorrow on WKYT.
He even said a word to it.
He's spellbound.
Yeah. A hearing was held today to help determine if a Kentucky attorney charged in a federal fraud case should be released before his trial. In 9 minutes, why prosecutors say he should stay in jail.
And then the message an eastern Kentucky woman has for a sheriff's deputy, she says, saved her life.
It's time to wake up. You've got things to do, mouths to feed, work to get done. It's another Kentucky morning. And Kentucky mornings start here.
Good morning, I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith.
You don't have time to waste, so we don't waste your time. Simple as that. Breaking and overnight news, weather to plan your day, plus traffic you can take with you. Make WKYT This Morning part of your Kentucky morning. Weekdays from 4:30 to 7 on WKYT.
Right now at Papa John's, get one of our best deals ever. For just $9.99, you can get any large pizza with up to 5 toppings. Pile on your favorites with up to 5 toppings for just $9.99.
Better ingredients, better pizza. PapaJohns.com.
After you're injured at work, a lot of times the insurance company will attempt to call you, take statements. Don't speak to them until you speak with an experienced workers' compensation attorney.
The insurance company will attempt to settle your case for pennies on the dollar. Before you talk to the insurance company, call us first.
Our job is to make sure you get all the money you deserve.
Call Morgan, Collins, and Yeast. 1-800-55-WILDCAT.
I love Spain. This food, the wine, the tapas. I want to stay here forever.
Well, we're not in Spain. We're home.
I know, but this food is so delicious.
Then it's like a Spaincation.
Head to Kroger for authentic recipes, specially imported foods, and delicious meal ideas at the Taste of Spain event.
Cook up fresh Perdue boneless chicken breasts for just $1.99 a pound. And sweet red, yellow, or orange bell peppers are now 10 for $10 at Kroger.
Right now at Papa John's, select sides are just $5 each. Choose from our delicious cheese sticks, crispy chicken poppers, spicy buffalo wings, our chocolate chip cookie, and more. Choose a side for just $5 next time you order pizza.
At PapaJohns.com.
Get WKYT news and weather updates on 104.5 The Cat. Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
It is a cold flow across the eastern part of the country. It's April. Someone forgot to tell Mother Nature that, though. It's well below normal for week 1 of the month of April. Looks like week 2 is going to be equally as cold, if not a little colder, over the next few days. Let's jump into it, show you what we are dealing with. Look at the winds with the temperatures underneath the winds, and those gusts are coming from the north and northwest right now. That's where the air is coming from. Basically, the floodgates are open from Canada all the way up to the Arctic. So it's the April version of Arctic air that we are dealing with across the bluegrass state of Kentucky and most of the eastern part of the country. Now, by Arctic air, we're not talking about what you would get in January with the temperatures. You got to keep it all in perspective. It's April, so it's going to be very cold relative to normal, but nowhere near as cold as it could be if it hit in the heart of wintertime. Right now, current temperatures upper 30s to low 40s. Green thumb alert. Next 3 mornings, some pockets of upper 20s tomorrow morning. 26 degrees Saturday morning, mid-20s again on Sunday. We've already had 2 or 3 mornings, depending on where you live, over the past week, where the temperature hit the 20s. Now, as we go into the day tomorrow, skies clear in the morning, briefly, allowing temperatures to really drop off. We'll bounce it back up. Clouds are going to increase, and I'm looking at new data coming in suggesting we turn fairly wet tomorrow afternoon into the evening when the temperatures drop and we have the risk of a snowflake or two across parts of central and eastern Kentucky. Defender Radar Network picking up on a couple of wayward snowflakes here, Flemingsburg toward the Moorhead area over the next hour and change. The flow continues to come at us from northwest to southeast. What I'm watching for tomorrow afternoon is this little pocket of energy here. What do I mean by pocket of energy? It's some lift in the atmosphere, which is what you need to get precipitation. Look at the rain and snow breaking out here. Tomorrow afternoon, what you see here is right on top of the bluegrass stage, so that's going to give us some ugly weather into the heart of tomorrow afternoon. And oh, by the way, several computer models say the area that is painted in the blue here has at least a chance of seeing some snowflakes tomorrow night and into Saturday morning. Let's show you how we get there. Temperatures by noon tomorrow, mid-40s, but watch this expanding area of rain to come through tomorrow afternoon. It's one of those setups to where it may rain hard for a little while with gusty winds and the potential for soft hail / sleet into the afternoon and evening. And by tomorrow evening, how about a little stripe of some flurries or snow showers as temperatures drop into the 30s. Waking up Saturday morning to maybe a snowflake or two. It's a mix of sun and clouds into your Saturday afternoon with temperatures hitting the upper 30s and low 40s. Saturday will start out cold and we will end it with a little milder air that is surging on into the area with temperatures that will mainly be into the 60s. So first half of the day tomorrow is in pretty good shape. Then into the afternoon, the showers settle in. I'm sorry, Keeneland folks. Take the jackets out there tomorrow. You will put them to good use because we do expect at least some showers before the races are through. You got the cold winds. Early next week, we'll drop it one more time, but this time next week, guys, I suspect we're going to be talking about a warm wave coming into town.
What's going on?
It's crazy weather.
Yeah, it really is. Extremes all over the place.
Next 3 mornings could be below freezing.
Okay. Thank you, Chris.
Well, police chase in Los Angeles took a very strange turn today. In 7 minutes, the unusual things the driver and passenger did during the chase.
Dare to compare LG's new OLED TV. $19.99 at Best Buy, just $16.49 at PRAS. Save $149 over Home Depot on this Amana refrigerator. Plus free gift cards up to $500.
Nobody beats PRAS. Honda believes in helping you use your garage to its fullest potential. That's why we're offering great deals on the things you'll want in your garage, like the Honda CR-V. The best-selling SUV in America comes with a standard multi-angle rear-view camera and plenty of cargo space. Great for transporting lots of stuff, say to storage or the dump. Hurry to the Honda Dream Garage sales event. You've got a garage to fill. The most durable, longest-lasting brand in its class has great deals. Now at your Honda dealer.
You're gonna love what's new at Fazoli's, the Create Your Own Sampler. You get 3 choices of Italian deliciousness from 12 Fazoli's favorites. That's over 250 combinations for just $6.99. Only at Fazoli's.
Spend an evening with James Taylor and his all-star band. The American icon is back on tour. April 24th, Rupp Arena. The multiple Grammy Award-winning James Taylor and a night full of his biggest hits. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster. James Taylor, another Beaver production.
It's spring. Time to cook out. No, way out. It's time to get inspired, get advice, and get coolers. Because we gotta get cooking, catching, and oohing, and then do it all again next weekend. Cabela's Spring Great Outdoor Days, the biggest sale and event of the season. Get 25% off Cabela's 5-piece cast iron starter set. In-store and online now.
When severe storms roll in, we go to work to keep you and your family safe with continuous coverage on air, on WKYT.com, and wherever you are with our news and weather apps. First Alert Severe Weather Days, only on WKYT.
Get this Tempur-Pedic bundle with mattress, adjustable base, 2 memory foam pillows, mattress protector, and a free 50-inch TV. As low as $49 a month with the power of 60 months, 0 interest.
Nobody beats P-Rats.
A federal judge has not decided whether to release attorney Eric C. Kahn from custody before his trial in a fraud case.
Investigators say that Kahn, psychologist Alfred Atkins, and Social Security Judge David Doherty worked together to get more than $600 million in federal disability payments for clients. Now, during a hearing today, prosecutors said they fear that Kahn could be a flight risk. They claim former Kahn employees had indicated he would leave the country to avoid being prosecuted. The judge said he'll make a ruling later. Now, court documents say Doherty was arrested earlier this week and has been ordered to undergo a mental evaluation.
Tomorrow, a Lexington native and her husband who were killed in the Brussels terror attacks will be laid to rest. Funeral services will be held for Stephanie and Justin Schultz. They were at the Brussels airport on March 22nd when bombs exploded. A visitation was held for the couple tonight at Southland Christian Church in Jessamine County. One of Stephanie's high school friends has been tying green and yellow ribbons around Lexington as a way to pay tribute to the couple and help the family.
Yes, I just want them to try to remember the good times, remember who she was, and the family is so sweet, and they would do this if this was any one of us.
Another visitation will be held at Southland tomorrow from 10 until 2. The funeral will be at the church tomorrow afternoon at 2. The couple will be buried at Bluegrass Memorial Gardens.
Tonight, we're learning some new information about a double murder case in northern Kentucky. Investigators have identified the victims as 28-year-old Carolyn Tomlinson and 32-year-old Charles Eapman. Neighbors say they were a couple. They were found dead yesterday morning at a home in Kenton County. Police have not made an arrest in the case. They've asked for surveillance video from a neighbor's security camera, hoping that provides some more information.
New tonight, Lexington-based Lexmark is reportedly in talks to be bought by a Chinese company. According to our news partners at the Herald Leader, Lexmark has been talking to Apex Technology, but Lexmark officials couldn't comment on the report. Lexmark said last fall it was exploring a possible sale. The company announced last month it plans to lay off more than 140 people in Lexington.
New tonight, a Johnson County woman says she's grateful for the sheriff's deputy who saved her life. In February, Barbara Daniels says that a stove in her home started pouring smoke and she quickly passed out. Neighbors became concerned after they didn't hear from her, so they called police. Johnson County Deputy Terry Tussey showed up, went inside and found Daniel on the floor. He carried her outside to safety. Daniel spent 9 days in the hospital but has recovered, and she says she wouldn't be alive without the deputy.
He's just a #1 great person to me, and I thank God for him.
Daniel says she now shares a special friendship with the deputy.
Well, you often hear about police chases in Los Angeles, but one today had an unusual twist. Police chased 2 men in a convertible for about an hour today. During the chase, the driver did donuts in the street. The passenger waved to other drivers and even stood up in the car at times. At the end, the driver sat on the car's hood as he and the passenger talked to onlookers. They eventually gave themselves up when police arrived.
They may not be doing that for a while.
Yeah,
again.
their fun might be over for a while.
So much for donuts in the street. The Legends open the season tonight despite that cold weather.
Chilly night for baseball out at Whitaker Bank Ballpark. Alex Poitras to throw out the first pitch, and Kentucky sophomore guard George Asafo-Adjei says the Cats' whole line has something to prove. Stay with us. That's next in sports.
Get WKYT news and weather updates on News Radio 630 WLAP.
Kentucky Lottery's Keno, the exciting way to have fun with your friends every 5 minutes.
Fueling imagination.
Funding education.
What we do is not about sickness. It's about living. Because you were made to live and live well. Let us show you how care is supposed to be. Lexington Clinic, your doctors for life.
There are 2 camps of DQ S'mores Blizzard lovers, Camp S'mores and the new Camp Oreo S'mores. Camp S'mores, Camp Oreo S'mores, Camp S'mores, Camp Oreo S'mores, Camp S'mores, Camp Oreo S'mores. A camp for the traditionalist and a camp for the adventurous. Which s'mores camp will you be in? Try the s'mores and new Oreo s'mores Blizzard treat today. This is fan food, not fast food.
Today's Mega Millions jackpot is $65 million, and Saturday's Powerball jackpot is $168 million.
Here's a fact. Big M Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram offers you a lifetime warranty at no additional cost on every certified pre-owned vehicle. It doesn't end after 10 years, not after 100,000 miles. It's available at no extra cost. Visit BigMSuperstore.com.
We're all for traditions, but sometimes you gotta throw something new in the smoker. Slow smoked chicken wings at Sonny's Barbecue. Get them as an appetizer or in a combo starting at $10.99. Sonny's Barbecue. Local pit masters since '68.
I love grocery shopping at Kroger, but sometimes life gets busy.
So I use ClickList. It's easy. I just order online. And with thousands of great items and fresh food to choose from,
I can get what I want the way I want it, then pick up my order at the store without ever leaving my car.
And for me, that's a game changer.
Order online, pick up curbside at store. We think you're gonna love ClickList. Try it now at Kroger.com/ClickList.
Get on your computer or mobile device. Because of all the great Toyota deals out there, most are not seen on TV. That's why you need to visit buyatoyota.com for a huge selection of savings offers that couldn't possibly fit in a TV commercial, including 0% financing, great lease deals, and 2-year no-cost maintenance. So get on your computer or mobile device and go to buyatoyota.com, Toyota's official website for deals. Toyota, let's go places.
At Hair Win, we've been helping people for 125 years.
If you've been injured in a life-changing accident, we can help.
Contact us at helpingkentucky.com.
Hair Win. Visit helpingkentucky.com.
Right now, at the all-new Big M Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, get up to $5,000 over Kelley Blue Book fair market value for any trade. During Ram Truck Month, new 2016 Ram Bighorn Crew Cab 4-wheel drives are only $199 a month. Visit BigMSuperstore.com.
He came to Kentucky last season as a 3-star recruit and started games at right tackle. George Asafo Ajay has now been moved to guard. George says at guard you have to have more strength. Well, that's what Mark Stoops is looking for from his entire offensive line. Everyone is back with the exception of Jordan Swindle. Asafo Ajay is eager to show the fans that the O-line is better than what they may think.
Really, as a group, we have something to prove, you know, that we're not one of the worst offensive lines. And we have the, you know, we have the talent, we have the athleticism, the strength. So we just gotta go out there and ball. And really, I'm personally tired of hearing like, you know, oh, O-line this, O-line that. So every day we go out there, we're trying to get better.
I hope they all have something to prove, you know, and so that's good. We got to become more physical. We can't be going sideways at the line of scrimmage. We got to create a new line of scrimmage. Sometimes we don't. We've gotten better. We've run the ball well. I'm excited about it. I'm pleased about it. But you know, we're not anywhere near where we need to be.
Sunny but windy conditions for the opening round of the Masters, and Jordan Spieth hitting his second shot into the 18th green. He was 5 under here, trying to finish up with a birdie and a round of 66. And he rolls the putt in, good for a 2-shot lead over Shane Lowry and Danny Lee. Paul Casey was playing with Spieth. This is his tee shot at the 16th, and he hits it in there nice and tight. A birdie, a 69 for Casey. He is 3 shots off the lead. Jason Day had a really good round going. His shot into the 9th green. Day shot 31 on the front, but 41 on the back, even par 72. So here's how they stand after the first 18. Spieth a 2-shot lead. Rory McIlroy in a large group at 2 under 70. Phil Mickelson and J.B. Holmes both shot 72. The EKU Colonels have a pair of sophomores leaving the basketball program, Paul Jackson and Greg King. Jackson had a good season for the Eagles, for the Colonels, averaging 7 points and a team best 5 assists per game. The 6'7" King averaged 3 points, 2.7 rebounds in 23 games for EKU. The Legends opening their season tonight at home against Lakewood. Alex Poitras on hand to throw out the first pitch, and wearing a number 22 jersey, he kind of lobbed it up to the plate. He wanted another try, a second, and this one was a little better, little more juice on it. Well, how about one more, said Alex. Now remember, you can't take free throws over, but here we go. And he saved his best for last. There it is, he just needed to warm up a little bit. The Legends then went out and beat Lakewood by a final score of 7-4. The same two teams will play there tomorrow night. The Reds going for a sweep of Philadelphia this afternoon, trailing 2-1 fourth inning. Jay Bruce connects to right field, 2 men aboard. Reds take a 4-2 lead, but the inning was a long ways from over. Bases loaded, Eugenio Suarez driving one deep to left. That's a grand slam, and the Reds score 8 runs in that fourth inning. Big day for Jay Bruce. He hit another home run, and the Reds go on to win it 10-6. Tomorrow, Kentucky opens a 3-game series with Alabama at Cliff Hagan Stadium. Two of the many reasons the UK is tied for second right now in the SEC East deals with Gunnar McNeil and Evan White. McNeil riding a program-best 23-game hitting streak, and White is on a tear, a 20-game hitting streak.
They definitely are pushing each other. I mean, the culture on this team is one of the better cultures I've ever been a part of, and they are the two guys that have really taken a leadership role in the sense of you know, the mentality that we're trying to preach and live up to, and they've shown a great ability to keep their poise under pressure and continue to push each other.
Alabama in town starting tomorrow night. We'll be right back.
Kentucky Lottery jackpot sequence has been initiated. Prepare for current jackpot amount.
Saturday's Powerball jackpot is $168 million.
On Tuesday, I buried my dentures under 23 tons of cement. And I really freaked out because I needed my mouth for a very important event. So I called Aspen Dental, got in right away, and they made my new choppers in just a few days. And thanks to that service, I'm happy to say I ate the most hot dogs in history today.
With dentures starting at just $3.99 and ready in days, not weeks. Dentistry's never been easier. Call 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL.
Hitting someone at 35 miles per hour is like throwing them off a 4-story building. A little extra speed is a lot more deadly. Slow down, Lexington.
Hello, I'm Rob Bromley, inviting WKYT TV viewers on the vacation of your dreams, a land and cruise tour of Alaska, August 5th to the 18th. We'll stay near Denali National Park and watch for wildlife on a guided park tour. Our vacation includes Anchorage, Fairbanks, the White Pass and Yukon train, and a 4-night Holland America cruise through Glacier Bay and the Inside Passage. For more information, call Holiday Vacations, 1-800-826-2266.
At the end of the broadcast, I'm most proud of what we have done as a team and all of the people who have risked their lives to tell the news and to deliver to the American people the highest quality news broadcast today.
Are you happy with your bathroom? I wasn't, until I learned about Bathfitter. Bathfitter puts a new bathtub right over your old one. Isn't that amazing? Bathfitter will measure, custom make, and install right over your existing tub. And only Bathfitter has seamless walls, which guarantees a watertight fit. Plus, they do it all in just one day. I know because I did it.
Our Splash in a Savings event is going on now. Call 888-997-1357 and save up to $500 plus a free upgrade package.
There's lots of ways to relax at Cracker Barrel Old Country Store because every day we freshly prepare a variety of home-style meals. Serve fresh-baked, made-from-scratch biscuits, and offer our breakfast day or night at prices that are downright comfortable, starting at $5.99. With so many old favorites and new specials to choose from, you could make relaxing a regular thing. So stop on by. You're always welcome.
When big news breaks, be the first to know. Download the WKYT News app and turn on push alerts. Breaking news at your fingertips when you need to know what's going on. Push alerts, now available on the WKYT News app. Stay connected to the news that matters to you, like WKYT on Facebook.
Well, the opening day of Keeneland, whichever meet, is always exciting. Tomorrow it will still be exciting.
It's always exciting until the rains come in the afternoon and evening. I don't think it's going to rain the entire race day tomorrow, but yeah, some showers will likely be dancing about the air. Gusty winds, temperatures in the 40s will feel like the 30s at times.
It can only get better.
Yeah.
And it will next week.
Okay.
Thanks for watching tonight.
Maybe.
Good night.
Possibly.